What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to look at 4 exercises for QL or quadratus lumborum muscle pain. This is a muscle that is on either side of the low back. It runs from our last rib, our 12th rib, down to the top of our pelvis and is often involved when people have pain just on one side of their low back. So if you feel like you've got that type of pain just on one side of your low back that you think might be associated with the muscles in your low back, stay tuned for today's exercises. Before I jump into today's video, I just want to mention that my new book, Rehab Science: How to Overcome Pain and Heal from Injury, is out. The book is 500 pages in length and covers the 50 most common orthopedic conditions that we see in physical therapy. So in the book, you'll find comprehensive 3-phased programs for the most common issues broken down by body region. So for instance, if you have a low back issue, just to open to one page in the book here, this is part of the low back program. You'll see pictures of me doing the exercises and instructions for each of the exercises. So if you're looking for a more comprehensive resource, something that basically has programs like a physical therapist would give you, check the description below. I'll put the links for the book. For our first exercise, we are going to use a soft tissue mobilization, use a foam roller. You can also use a ball to basically massage the QL muscle. So again, the QL muscle is right here kind of on the side of your low back. It runs from that bottom rib to the top of the pelvis. It's involved in laterally flexing our spine. So you have to be kind of hitting your back from the side angle to massage this muscle. So what you're going to do is lay on the foam roller and kind of go down just above your pelvis, your pelvic bone, but not up onto your ribs, kind of just in this small space in between the two. And then you're basically just going to roll through there and look to find tender points, especially if they feel like they reproduce your familiar symptoms. So kind of roll through there. When you find a spot, you can pause on it, take a few deep breaths, try to get that muscle to relax and the pain to diminish. This is something you can do for 30 seconds up to 2 minutes, and you can implement it several times throughout the day as long as it's helpful. Okay, so that's our first exercise, a soft tissue mobilization of the QL muscle. Okay, so we just massaged the left QL muscle. Now we're gonna stretch that muscle. So for the left side, what I'm gonna do is cross my left leg over my right leg. I'm going to reach up with my left hand and then side bend, laterally flex to the right. This will pull my ribs, pull that 12th rib away from my pelvis, which will stretch the QL muscle. So you should get a big stretch here. It might even go down into the side of your hip, kind of down towards the IT band. So when you're doing this stretch, you're going to go for 2 to 4 reps and hold each one for 15 to 30 seconds. And again, this is something you can do each day as long as you're in pain. So hold it for a little bit, then you can take a break. You can do the other side if you want, and then reach up again and over until you get a stretch right here along your side. Okay, so that's our second exercise, a QL stretch. Our next 2 exercises are going to be strengthening exercises for the QL. Counterintuitive to what a lot of people think, strengthening exercises can actually reduce activity in muscles and reduce pain, but you would probably implement these later on, maybe a week or 2 after this has started, once symptoms have sort of calmed down. So we're going to do a side plank here, and we're going to do it with the muscle that's painful towards the ground. That's going to activate and strengthen that muscle. But this is going to be a slightly different plank. It's an offset plank. My feet won't be stacked, which will help activate our back muscles. So what you're going to do is, again, my left side is towards the ground, that muscle I want to work. Instead of having my feet stacked like a normal plank, I'm going to put the top leg in front. So I'm kind of going heel to toe, and then my arm will go up on the side just like a plank, and then I'm going to lift. And basically doing this will activate some of my hip muscles, but it will really strengthen the core muscles on this bottom side. So it'll get my obliques and some of my abs, but it'll also work that QL muscle. So for these, look at holding, as long as you can and building up over time, but we're usually having people shoot for 30-second holds, but if you can only do 10 or 15 seconds to start with, that's fine. So just hold there. When you get fatigued, then you can set back down, rest for 30 seconds to a minute, and then go for a couple more. So for this, I would shoot for 3 to 4 reps and 20 to 30 second holds. When you go up, really try to think about activating those core muscles on the bottom side, squeezing them to create the movement and lift you. Okay, so that's our second exercise. an offset side plank to strengthen our QL muscle. For our last exercise, we're going to strengthen QL again, but instead of doing an isometric contraction like in the side plank, we're going to do one where our muscle fibers are lengthening and shortening. So for this one, grab a dumbbell. I only have a 15-pound dumbbell here. This is probably too light, so you could go up heavier than this. You're going to hold just one dumbbell in the opposite arm. So again, I'm working on my left side. I'm going to hold the dumbbell in the right arm. And then what I'm going to do is slowly lean, bend to the right. This will stretch my QL muscle, but those QL muscles in my obliques have to work to control this movement, so they're contracting eccentrically, they're lengthening and contracting. And on the way back up, I'm going to squeeze them, and the muscles are going to shorten and contract, and that's a concentric contraction. So basically, I'm going slowly, bending to the right, and then using those muscles to pull back up. So you might think this is an exercise that's working on the muscles on the right, but it's really going to work more on the muscles on the left, because they have to control and decelerate that motion during the first part, and then they have to squeeze to pull the weight back up. Okay, so for this one, you're gonna go for 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions, going slower on the eccentric part and then a little quicker on the concentric part to strengthen your QL muscle. Okay, so those are our 4 exercises. We've got a soft tissue mobilization, a stretch, and 2 strengthening exercises. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments section, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.